Welcome, everyone. Take a deep breath if you'd like to. My name is Evelyn, and I have a big channeling for you today. I spent all week refining it for you so it was more understandable, but it was a lot. So I hope you appreciate this. It's really beautiful, and I wouldn't just listen to part of it, because usually my channelings, they start building and they really come together from the middle to the end. And there's some beautiful messages, and there's a lot about Alpha Centauri coming up today. I'm just really excited to bring the message to you. Okay. Take a deep breath. And I just pulled from the Rider deck before I started, and there were some really beautiful cards that came out. I'm going to roll the die for you first. If I have time after the channeling, I will get to this twin flame read on the table. So let's see what the die have for you first, just to warm up a bit. This is for the twin flames at the present moment, going forward in April. All right, we have Taurus over here. We have the moon. We have number 12. Give me 1 second. I want to see. So it's 10:04 when we started, apparently, which is message received. So let's see. We have the moon, which is Cancer for me. We have Taurus. Some people associate Pisces with the moon as well. We also have 12, which is the Hanging Man, which is Pisces, but for me also Capricorn, but it's also December, which is also Capricorn energy. So that's coming up. And it's also the 12, which is the 1 and the 2 of the masculine and feminine. And it is a 3. So, and Cancer is cardinal. We have fixed Taurus, and Pisces is mutable. So there's a nice balance of energies right there. And I'm getting the 1 and the 2 of the masculine and feminine as the Taurus and the Cancer energies. Interesting. So first I'm going to show you these cards. All right. So the underlying energy is the Empress reversed, which could be lack. It could also be the need for abundance, from Mother Nature here. We have this coming together and co-creating here, whether this is a place of work or school or wherever. It could be the gym. But there's this energy of coming together to work and co-create. But perhaps there's some, this could be post-birth as well. It could be miscarriage, but I'm not getting a negative energy here. So I feel like it's post a birth, and that's interesting too, because the cats I have living in my garage, mommy gave birth on the 21st to 4 little baby kittens. They're so cute. So there's that kind of energy, right? So post-birth, and that's metaphorical as well. So the post-birth of something there. Oh, and there we have the baby right there, the Page of Cups, okay? And here's the energy of a lack of affection, after giving birth. It's really tough on the mom. So there's that underlying energy. And then what came out next was this coming together in joy with the soulmate, the children, the innocent ones. And there's the Page of Wands, who's excited, perhaps to come to the Queen of Swords and make her feel better about something. She could have lost someone, or just, the Queen of Swords represents the woman in mourning. And when it's reversed, she's just spent mentally and just heartbroken, or maybe not trusting. I mean, maybe she's not talking, maybe she's lashing out, like mothers do, like when they have too much to do, like taking care of new babies. And then we have going forward here, it's like the little ones, just as an example, my cats, because there's 5 kittens and now 4 newborns. So the kittens aren't so much kittens anymore. There's 2, well, sister, which I call sister, 'cause I thought it was the mother's sister initially, but she's actually one of the earlier litters of mama cat. So it's mama and then sister, who's about a year and a half old. And then we have the 2 brothers who are about a year old. And then we have the 3 that were born under my deck last August. And now we have the 4 newborns. So there was 5 and now there's 9 children plus mama. And is that right? But there's 7 altogether. There's 5 plus mama plus sister. Right? So sister's actually another child. So there's actually 6 kids plus mama and then the 4 new ones. So it's 11 altogether with mama. So you see all this young energy here, right? The 2 little ones over here and the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups offering their love. But mama has kicked the kittens out of the garage, right? Because they can't be there with the new kittens. It's like, when the new round is here, the old ones have to get out and take care of themselves. And it's also probably because she needs to rest and sleep. When the kittens are sleeping, she doesn't need anyone in the garage waking them up. All right. So there's this really beautiful energy, though. And then we have, I don't see all the cups energy and the Page of Wands inspired. That could be someone excited to ask someone out on a date, or just inspired to do something for the Queen of Swords to make her feel better, right? So maybe then she feels like being loving again. And then we have the Sun, right? There's more child energy of excitement and vacation and fun and happiness. So just sun. And we've had rain for like 3 days in a row, and the poor cats are just tired of being a little chilly outside. And so here's this energy of fun in the sun. And then the Hermit reversed could be over isolating. Right? So again, bringing good news to somebody else after bringing good news to the Queen of Swords reversed, who could be the same person as the Hermit reversed. So it could be somebody with Virgo in their chart, or getting them to come out from over isolating. Perhaps after the Knight of Wands fell short of expectations. Interesting, because expectations is part of the wording in my channeling of this like risky energy, or somebody made a poor call, a judgment call, or a poor decision, and taking off, trying not to take the rap for it, and falling short of expectations. Especially someone who's been over isolating and thinking about their own stuff. And then we have the Emperor upright. And remember, the Empress was reversed, the underlying energy. So we have a pair here. Now he's upright, and all this is coming towards him, and he's found satisfaction here in healing from some kind of emotional disappointment or loss, or some kind of regret, perhaps stressed out, perhaps dealing with a nightmare or a lot of pain, or just, circling thoughts for a long period of time, and just learning how to let go of all of those negative thoughts circling around from disagreeing from someone else, not agreeing with them, or seeing eye to eye on things, or being at a distance or disconnected from someone that you love. And then here we have the King of Swords reversed over here. So we have the Queen of Swords over there. Now we could be dealing with lawyers, right, on one side or the other. And then we have someone who's not sleeping, like myself, or awakening after a disconnect or a breakup. The King of Swords not sleeping and rising above, or awakening and coming out as the Hermit and dumping a load, or dumping their burdens, dumping all their responsibilities, confessing to take the weight off their shoulders in order to be free to take that leap, destined to take that leap of faith. So it could be a breakup here. There's a lot of happy children, not so much a happy mama. But, the Empress and Emperor could also still be together, and she's not doing well right now. And then we have this King and Queen of Swords, who could be their children, or their or people they're working with, who are not happy about the situation, and they have all this young energy coming in to cheer them up. But any which way, it's about these people coming into this energy of finally being free to take that leap of faith, perhaps knowing they're destined to get schooled, or to have to school the golden goose, keep them in check in order to take this leap of faith. And we have Aries and Libra, which is on the same axis there. Very interesting, but really beautiful energy. And the King and Queen of Swords could, like I said, they could be lawyers, they could be professionals, but they could both have been two people who've just been through the ringer and are choosing to change their perspective. So perhaps the King of Swords is becoming the Emperor, and perhaps the Empress is still, dealing with something that she needs to recover from. But there is joy for her with the Three of Cups. I mean, there's all this childlike energy around her to bring her joy, to lift her spirits and bring some sunshine into her life. So I just wanted to start with that energy because it was really beautiful. And I'm just going to put the first 3 cards up so you can see them. And then the last 2 cards that I showed you here with the Fool and the Wheel of Fortune. I was just getting meeting your maker, but like in a fun, positive way. Oh, that was a weird statement. Okay. So again, we have a lot of loving energy there, plus Aries and Libra. For me, that's Libra. The Wheel of Fortune may be Sagittarius for somebody else. Whatever resonates with you, go ahead and take that. All right, so the deal is with this message that I'm bringing you now. On the 30th, when I went to sleep, before I went to sleep, I decided to channel a message. And I was asking for mother, father again, not just Sophia. And I left it on for a while. I think I got most of the channeling because a lot of what I recorded was me just falling asleep, and then I stopped speaking. So there's a little bit of English and a lot of non-English that I translated, and it was so beautiful. So I'm going to go with it. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes up as I'm reading it to you. So here we go. So the first statement from the channeling was Meris o Soma Lo, which the first translation when I put it into Google Translate was Merry Christmas. So profound. So, and I translated in all different languages, and they're all different variations of this. Some said just Merry Christmas, some said slightly other things, some said Merry Christmas, my dear. They will come up as they come up in the message, you'll see. But it was Meris o Soma Lo, or Merry Christmas, dearest May, and May keeps coming up like crazy, on top of the island of misfit toys. And then I was getting this mantis type being coming in, insectoid, really skinny, kind of reminded me of Jack from The Night Before Christmas. And he was benevolent, but I have met a mantis being before, and they have a very kind of harsh presentation. So he says, listen up, like, pay attention, listen closely. And then I had another message I had to translate right after that. And then he says, button up. So, okay, pay attention closely, and then, shh, I have a lot to tell you. So here is the message. Merry Christmas. Every 2 days or so, infinitely, perhaps according to the moon's timing, Mary and Christ merge, summing their parts, integrating the shadow, transmuting inadequacies, flowering plant, evening out, message from woodcutter, ah, honey, as Mary's a sky for him. Gratitude, or the sum of, thank you so much. Take it or leave it, sleep or sleep. Merry Christmas, my dear, in the sea or in the ocean. Merry Christmas, my bag. You are welcome. What is the meaning of Soma? It's some. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas, Monday. And Monday was the day I was writing this. And Monday's the day I was born. So for me, it meant something. Monday is also Moon Day. Mary sums it up. Merry Christmas, come on. To sparkle with gratitude, blush, oh, accept it. What is the meaning of Maris? The body is full. Oh my God. Merry Christmas. Oh, catfish. Some, LOL. Female horse, the whore that sees. So Ma laughs, to sum it up. I'll take it. Gratuitously, read, beam and sparkle. Blush somatically. Lead it or read it and read this. Merry, which is Mary as well, you are so cute. Myrrh from somatic coal. Mary's in the dark. Take mud and body's burdens. Second interval to extract. Mary's at same time. Equally low. Mare or Mary or sleep, LOL. Merry or read it. And there's going to be certain words that come up that mean certain things, and it came up in our last message as meaning word. Merry or read it, the word. Somali passage or somatic body. Merry, relaxed. Sea is, oh my God, like, the having an orgasm from the way the sea is, how it makes you feel. Learning by osmosis. And he says, happy channeling. Merry or laugh. And this had to do with merry being the state of merriment, and then laughing being the active state of being happy. Knowing you can get through any crap. So then he took me to the definition of osmosis. Within, outer, external push impulsion. Lower solute concentration to region of higher solute concentration through passive absorption or impartation of information, habits, active teaching, or picking up a particular knowledge incidentally or without seeking it, and then going from the low, relaxed, merry, free, loose, liberal concentration to the high form of that, happening across something interesting and then actively seeking it, filtering through a lot of crap to find what you didn't know you were looking for. Dissolve, solve, explain lower concentration to get to that higher concentration. Lower, unbound, released, acquitted, cleansed concentration to higher, pure concentration. And I was getting the example I always give you guys about learning to play the piano. In the beginning, it's very technical and it doesn't flow very well. It's kind of like that low concentration. And then once you've been playing for years, it becomes flow and it's like a channeling. And that was coming up as the pure concentration. So Mary was coming up as mud and take soma, and which I didn't know, but soma is actually a muscle relaxer. So Mary is a muscle relaxer to him. That's the way it was coming up. And then also the energy of Merry Christmas is Mary's Christ Mass. And not the typical Mass as in a bunch of people going to church, but the Mass that is spending the night together and taking shelter. The snake and the snake year and the Kundalini rising together. That they have gone through the worst of it together. And it also means gold. The young man and the young girl, the suitor and the female bird. To the field. But really, of course, no wonder, with fish and meat, Mary's horsepower at the crossroads beyond, and Mary's anointed brother who's like gold. And here's this energy of having to school the golden goose, and here's Jesus coming up as gold. So there's a lot of different meanings around that, but you get the idea. It's beyond. All right, so first, before I go forward with that, I'm going to give you a summary, because I did a summary first, and then I went back and did the formal thing. So I can give you a gist of some of the information so that you then understand better when I read the whole thing. Merry Christmas atop the island of misfit toys was coming up as Japan. There's a lot about Japan again, a lot about the Asian energies here. And then May, with eyes that are like to die for. You're the only one who can't see, only this, a big fat stone. The first time I've seen a Nemo finding its voice. The price is that we named it. We named word with us, when we called us or US. And it grew. You are my friend. I am not your friend. You now see the problem. The woodcutter with buff shoulders to support them here. The team as mother and son. And I don't know if you remember on my last channeling, I explained to you that T was coming through. I don't even know if that's from this one. T was coming through as a little girl. And then Am or team, T-E-A-M, T is the little girl and Am is the woman. And also team is coming up as the woman because she came up in my last message about being the mother and the son, where the father was just the father, but the feminine energy was the mother and the son. So to preface some of what the meanings are. All my fingers with name, E and L, which is the word enamel that came up, which is name, with E and L on either end, which references Enki and Enlil, or really any of those historical brothers like Cain and Abel. All my fingers, remember God's fingers, he's actually the wrist, and the fingers, right, are his children reaching out, merely big stones with a growing sound, earth to heart warming up, to cut with scissors, and distance 8 meters apart, or perhaps that's 8 months, as she is mother and son in a human body, and how you sleep in order to awaken. Finding Nemo, silent one with no body and sound frequency that grows, uncontained. The earth, the infinite ear to hear the heart, to hear T, terra, team, tree, time between events, and frequency of the twin flame. Finding your voice in a heavenly sky between earth who hears you and the in-between state of terra, both earth and rays in a human body, while retrieving your heavenly body, right, and all your missing parts. Toys that are misfit, having trouble keeping it all in the body. As the word gets out, a need for help from the eye of the land, who's watching us play on this planet, or play net. Plan of the ETs. And then planet is also P lane T, or the plane T, housing, lane of time or timeline. Please help me. It's like a foot rash. She was ready and not sleeping, and she would have, but I'm just a kid and I'm not sleeping. The sum of the values of the equipment and land is a thing that's not mine. It's not my fault. Sometimes Wave was with me, growing, killed when Noah wasn't watching the tape or the medicine. Also, I need to preface this with there's a lot of this message coming from the divine masculine. The value of the wave is to some of the whole, and the value is the child coming out of all the breaking apart. Kali to Kai, which came up in my previous reading as the Kali, a really strong feminine energy, to Kai, which is like the little girl of that, times the wave, didn't kill when Noah didn't watch the coal tar tape, or in other words, the medicine. Yes, you, a foot thing, and a time wave. We are calling Noah's father for peace of mind. And also with Elena Denon, Noah references Enki, or Poseidon. I don't want to and didn't because they stabbed him. My father's bloody circle in Japan. When we fall, if this, it was not Noah, just so you know, for peace of mind. The value is that she is. My sister is negative. LOL. And then she says, hey, right? So we're talking about Enki, which is En is Lord and Ki is of the earth. And then Ninki, which is his twin sister of the earth, but her formal name is Ninhursag, which there's debate about the meaning of that, but it's Lady of the Mountain or of the earth. She's known of like the god of the gods, the one who takes care of them. She says it's my sister. He says it's my sister who closed to medicine at the core. Yes, at Noah's hand. No, I'm a doctor. And then she says, close the door, no doctor. Cold tape, medicine. So this was really interesting, right? So tape really was translating as medicine in Google Translate. And so I looked up cold tape because I wasn't sure if there was something called cold tape. And there is. It's the tar of coal they use to seal underground pipes and underwater pipes. So no doctor, cold tape, medicine. Little Noah, guess. What is the protocol? What is the matter? And I love that they said, what is the matter, right? What is the manifestation? One who does magic, taking the medicine route. No, and that's both routes, taking the medicine route, path, but also taking the medicine route, the plant route. No, and notice is also a nickname she's calling Noah. No, the price is a child. No, a hand. It is like this on the doctor's desk. Magician 68, given direction of medicine. I forbade him from eating. And 68, by the way, is the page of Pentacles, which is the curious, like, student of life. The child felt the pain before the medicine went down. At the same time this message was coming through, also Fluffy, the littlest one of the litter from August, went to get fixed. And I was getting this message that, like, she was feeling some of the pain before all the medicine went down. This was coming from her as well. The child felt the pain before the medicine went down, kicked me when I was in a dream, and slept when Noah didn't watch the tape or medicine, and no wake-up call allowing me to sleep. And then I got this message that they're adjusting me. So there was a pause in between there. They're adjusting my vibration. Hello. The harmony of the sutra fortifies the mini soul. Japanese medicine, mini magical earth, fortify me. I am not tired. What is Noah's name? Japanese medicine, miniature magic earth. So they're saying that there's a place in Japan they're calling Miniature Magic Earth. His two-sided Mr. and Miss story. My share is not mine. I, mini you, pray you don't have anything. Japanese medicine in a mini town. Why do you believe that you don't have power and will not have anything, that we have nothing? Kyo, Kyo comes up here, means emptiness in the city. The harmony, the meaning of the city is a mysterious place. The harmony of you pray if you win as opposed to lose. The meaning of the city is very clear. Today we pray we won 4 times. The meaning of the city is in the underground mana. Today we pray 4 times. And is the Japanese language. Right? So they're saying this is the Japanese language that we use. Here is the day you stick to the 4 stars, which was so interesting too, because I also just listened to Julia Balaz, who reads the galactic planets. And she was talking about focusing on 4 alignments, one being the galactic center. And you can watch her video if you want to know more about that. But the meaning of the sutra is mana. Fortify your aminos and amens. Fortify your stereotypes, your study contact details. Protect yourself from harm. The meaning of the sutra is underground city or magic town, and wife to counteract all the positive energy, like being the brake to the accelerator. The agate stone came up here, a gem of the womb and testicle, the balls and path of foot, of going about. And then that stopped, and I heard there are words to say. In mother's garden with hand-holding expectations and my silence and woodworking belt. Call me. Her name is cold. It's been a year. Hand-holding is possible. So then I was guided because of Vesica Pisces had come up, and twin circles was coming up, or stone circles. So I searched it, and it came up with the twin stone circles, which I knew nothing about, in OU Japan, OYU Japan, which suggests a solar connection. Amaterasu. I was just getting tiramisu too. AMATERASU. And there's ASU, and Phoenix is coming up because the Phoenix rising has been coming up nonstop. The sun goddess. It means the sun goddess, heavenly, august, and shining. The daughter of Izanagi and Izanami. So Ama in that name means sky and heavens, and then Terasu to illuminate something. And from this twin stones, 100 kilometers, is 4 circles terrace. So another 4 thing of things to look at Isedotai, Isedotai, which is, by the way, on the 40-degree parallel. And it said underground tie, which, remember, I'm talking about this underground city here because this comes up in another way. And then there's this question about an iron hand and coal tar. And in what I read about this stuff, in C2 was coming up, which was part of the words that came up in my channeling. The seed, the tie, and then the tie, TAI, time and lion T all came up. The father's parenting function being to come or arrive. You can take that any which way you want. Okay. So now we get to the real bulk. And it came out really good. So let's go. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything I wanted to tell you. No. And this is when jets were coming really close by to the house, and I did that video of like all these fighter jets kept circling around here. And I posted a video on Instagram, so you can check that out if you didn't see it. And then I happened across a post in between here, which was great. I mean, I can send it to you if you wanted me to. I think it was Instagram, and it was from Gaia. So you can, if you're on Gaia, you can check out Gaia. But it was a video of 3 Asian doctors doing a procedure during an ultrasound, like a Reiki procedure, so that 3 doctors had their hands on the patient while they were having an ultrasound, undergoing the ultrasound. And I feel that in addition to what they were talking about, that the ultrasound was actually part of the reason why it worked so well. And they were showing a static picture of the tumor, and then they were showing a live picture of a tumor. And then they were chanting. And as they chanted, you could watch the live version, the tumor literally being broken down into nothing. And they were chanting, get this, Wa Sa. And Wa has been coming up nonstop for me in my messages. Wa Sa, and then Meh Meh. And of course, I had to look them up after the message to see exactly what they were chanting. And some of the translations were coming up on the screen, but you don't know what's what. So I looked them up in Google Translate to see what was coming up, because I wanted to see what language it was too. And so I looked under Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai, and Korean to see if I could find, which areas were most exact. And nothing really came through from Vietnamese or Korean. But was it in Thai here? Oh no, it was Vietnamese. Vietnamese, when you put wa sa, comma, meh, meh, it literally translates, oh my God. And that came up on the screen of the message. And then in Chinese, wa sa, comma, me, wa came up as wow. And then same me. And then Vesa came up for me, was vasodilation came up right away as soon as I saw Vesa. So there's all of these terms that are perfect for this procedure that they're doing. And then in Japanese, it means harmony and difference, like making a difference. Make a difference, and then sum of the parts, sum up the difference, and harmonize. So here we have like chanting, telling the body to harmonize and make a difference, and to vasodilate, right, to close off the vessels to the tumor. And then in Vietnamese saying, oh my God. So like bringing all these beautiful energies together to heal. So I had to tell you about that because that was really cool. And then as I had caught that video on the fighter jets circling around my house, there was a video on a new F-47 revealed fighter jet from 3/24/25 talking about Boeing getting the contract versus Lockheed. And the word demonstration had come up, which I'd broken down on Instagram. And also I think I brought it up on the last video, because demonstration is demon station. But demon, if you look it up in the dictionary, actually more has to do with God than evil. And then there was 5 deer on my lawn with one little one. Really beautiful energies that day. Okay. Mm. Oops. I don't even think I needed to read you that part, but I'm glad I did, because I brought up those other things. I was probably wanted to read that part. I want to see where I'm starting from. I summed everything up. Sorry about this delay right here. There's other stuff in between I want to bring to you, but not during this session, because I really want to get you this channeling message here. Okay. Okay. All right, so I had translated it in 3 different languages. The first one we're going to read is Kokborok, which is similar to like Mayan, some of the native languages. And then I'm going to read to you in Arabic, which translates everything. I love translating in Arabic. And the third and final one, saving the best for last, is Japanese. Okay? So in Kokborok, after that first part I talked about Merry Christmas and the introduction there, in Kokborok, only this is not mine. You can sense what's next for the team. We can't see what's going on, or the theme, if I'm ever going to have a team. He's the only one who's going to stock the team. You're the only one who can't do it. It's like we're not going to be able to team. I'm going to take you to the team, to the editor who's under heat, to assess the team's soil, stock, or effort, or how much heart they have in it. This is the only one I can take in the heart, or until tempers flare, because anger is stored in the liver, and the word that was coming up is hepatitis, literally the swelling of the liver because of anger. This is the only thing we can do. And then it stopped where they were adjusting me. He's now waiting for you. Save time for me to eat, drink, and eat lots of Ma's tuna. Save my time by eating, drinking lots of mana. Actually, just eat mana. Save opportunity to say don't drink. Don't drink a lot if you manage. Save the opportunity to read, come and talk about mana. Save yourself time by not being afraid. Don't be afraid. He will be able to endure. He will come and he will be saved. He is not able to stop meat and finish lots of finishes. He's got and given us limitations and prayers and will never forget. We can do lots of things. He's got a minute. Pray. We'll continue. We'll have lots of money. The new now. And this was at 9:09, by the way. Observe, steady yourselves. We've finished lots. We've finished lots, you and I. And this is where they stopped me to say there are words to say. Whoever, the teddy bear, no key. Read the key. Perhaps it's infected, or don't read it if it is infected. And the birds were chirping right at the front door at that moment there. So again, no key, read the key, unless infected. Mother, I say, that we have animals, children to us. Her chain, 3 to be exact, like chains of entrapment, and my permission for many, or mother today, or money, her sense, and no answer key, so we answer, with somatic response. So I didn't lie. So eyes lie. So sharp, the eye of Somali. So I looked up Somali eyes, and all these pictures of Somalia people. And none were smiling with their teeth showing. Some weren't smiling at all, but no mouths were actually open, and some had their faces covered. But you look at the eyes, they were only speaking with their eyes. Animal roof or shelter, her chains, by permission. No answer key, so we answer. No answer key, so smart. If the sharp is sharp, nocturnally Somali, somatic at night, or again, with somatic, feeling with your body. Or the night who feels your way. So being the night as a person. When we tell you, you were there +1, and about these gifts, these manifolds, or money folds, or that which is folded, that folds in upon itself, the rain answers, or the ray in answers. So we answer. The rain answers sharply and replies, rain is not Somali. It is not so bad. South Asian gardener as a caste of peoples. And a short note of nightly somatic. So the constant gardener of mother's garden is a florist, or makes wreaths, garlands, or crowns, an Asian caste of people, a South Asian caste of people, of money and cash and equal draw. Such balls, so wonderful, fantastic. So hippopotamus or hippo pot am us, right? So the melting pot of the horse, Mr. Ed. The number 4, tonight or late afternoon, wealthy property and peanuts. So badly, so wrong, so fiscal. If distance, so sharp. If remote, when eyes are closed, is when the eyes lie. So then I have to go to page 4.2, and I was just getting fortuitous. Right before. Go to page 2 and read the side note for Cockborough. Ah, that's right. Okay. There it is. Okay, so the side note for Cockborough was, it's like now we're here. The new now we are. We are here. We stand on new this day. Hear from us today. New this minute. The new now. And I am. Mouth is. What is day? And mean intend. Kneel to me. And for. Remember 4 times a day. True. And mean. Or when you say amen, truly mean it. Minutes, eminence, you and ma and death. Observe, where you have a lot, but the lot is also mana, and we're just a lot of us. We're going to have a lot of things. We'll have a lot if you manage. Just leave lot, store only. Just use the store lot. We're just in the lottery. So there's a very interesting message there. So then we continue to Arabic. At 9:32 a.m. is when I was translating this. And it starts with the capital letter A. And remember that Merry Christmas and that introduction comes before this. A, capital letter A, come with us. And A for growth. Mr, so she is. This is team. And remember I said team is the mother and son together as the feminine. It was completed. Mr to welcome the team. A semi-nomadic, sleepy head. Not a single one. This is a robbery, not a team. I don't care about anything. I don't know what to do. Othiamine, so hurt and harmed of my greatness. And like then someone saying, like, who hurt you? Like, who is this person that I don't know? I'm not here. I'm not here. Type A, thymine, or thymine, that pairs with adenine in your DNA. A, fat woman, with us, and so A, any time or any name. And so A can mean a lot of different things here. Okay, so just bear with me here. Don't get offended by the fat word, okay? At 9:09 again a.m., we start here. The new now. Observe, steady yourself. We finished lots, you and I. Sleepy T, just the letter, capital letter T, name is a 6-year-old girl. And woman is T-am or team. A, fat girl with us, and long name is sad, she is team. A, fat girl with us, and long name, his share is team. A fat girl with long hair, her share is team. Her share is inevitable. A fat girl with long hair, A fat woman with 2 children. A fat body, look at us. Declare either their shares. A fat one from long ago, from long life. It took a long time. A fat cat, even if the coach is a man. The woman owns the team. A fat girl is a pregnant one. No longer a girl with long hair, but a woman with a long name. Mistress, lover, like sleep, like growth. Mosquito, like plucker. A very interesting story. I want to tell you something, and I will tell you it happened. A thing that is like this. I will sleep clean, and I will sleep. And she repeats that 6 times. A beautiful, pure sleep, my dear, my beloved, my dear. A beautiful Kalinami sleeps clean, he told me, growing so that his stomach is full and he stops being sad. Kali's lover sleeps clean, satiate, and forbade the sorrow of the stomach. A lover like a pureblood, whose belly is covered with blood, and whose sorrow is forbidden to him. A lover like a pure beast, whose belly is full of sorrow, a pure blood, whose belly is full of sorrow. A lover like a cat, her belly gurgles, oh, your sorrow is over me. Oh, we will all eat. Wah! We will talk. Love a cat, croaking in a variety of ways. My lover is like an angel. I will tell you in a variety of ways. My mistress is like an angel. My lover is like an angel. I will make you happy. The most elegant mistress, he told me, while growing. Sleep tight, sleep well. Like sheep, pure key, in order to sleep. His stomach, and diversely, I forbade him, that is. What is it, or word? What is this medicine? What is on the CAT? Classic cat. No, it's bad. Class T. Classes. He said, A, medicine. He said, what medicine? No, medicine. Like medicine. Me, Ed. I seen everything. I forbade him from medicine. I forbid you from medicine. I'm tired of you. I'm not going to bed yet. At 10:04, message received. Patty N and I are done with medicine. I don't care about medicine. With T and Ba-T, body with source embodiment, and Christed or Christ to Ed, Mr. Ed, the talking head, and I, they stabbed you in the back. Diversely, or to be different, I end up with medicine. We talk about medicine in a variety of ways. We speak in diversity. For example, I will kill you. Yes, Kiki, I will sing it. Yes, I am going to sing, and I'm going to sleep. I will sleep for you. And here Kiki means key or twin keys or Twinkie. I will sleep for you, and we will give you a nice breakfast. And right there is where they were telling me they were adjusting my vibration. She is snow and anime ka or soul. She is snow and like a soul of anime, very light and childlike, a high C number or high frequency, an animated soul. Hi, I'm going to see the anime. I am a mess. Fortify your sister, fortify your sleep. She will now see. Hi, see. I am with you, Ka soul. Hi, I am with you. I am in a mess with you. I'm in a bad mood with Ka soul. I am with Ka, I am a mess. Fragile anime soul, cores, moaning soul, fragile core, intentions. I am fragile nuclei, anime cores. I am in a state of chaos. I am very upset. Us, what's up? I don't come. When are you? A grace period to sleep. That's why we didn't say anything. The transfer is taking place. And by the way, when I was talking about the moaning soul, the crows were crowing outside, 2 of them, at 10:23, which is the wheel and the King of Wands. The transfer is taking place. Transfers to you are held. I hope you wish or pray. I hope you enjoy it. My uncle's hustle and bustle are not easy. My uncle's intentions are not good. I don't care. My uncle's mess is not mine. It's not mine anymore. My uncle's mess. I don't want to sleep. I don't want to sleep. My uncle's hustle and bustle is not easy for me. My Uncle Nick's mess is not good. I don't care about you. My Uncle Nick's mess is killing me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm tired of being controlled. I intend to protect you, my dear, to sleep with your security in mind, away from the control of the quote-unquote I forbid you pattern. I forbid you to sleep. And then Niklos came up as Uncle Nick is nucleus. Niklos comes up as nucleus. The nucleus is a mess. A typical amino acid nucleus is a type of molecule that is used to control the I forbid you intention. It is typical not to crack. Fortify your right hand, your pattern of masturbation, your pattern of desires, from what you seek. Okay, so you're a typical slut. Okay, you died from what you asked for. Fortify me, and I will prevent you from sleeping. And then they stopped me to say there are words to say. Whoever, the teddy bear, no key, read the key. From me and you, come to me. You, come to me. I don't want to be with you anymore. From me and you can come to me. Back to me later. They prevented you from getting to kill the silence of the poisonous story, silence of L, the simulation of tell, or source tell, or source and L. And that's interesting too, because something came up in Wikipedia that I looked up under, instead of just on and L in Sumeria, it was E, A, E. And it had to do with the tablets or books about all of the guidance that they were given as kings from the astrologers. And it, again, here's this energy of source and L together, and this simulation of tell, of all these messages they were getting from their advisors. They prevented us from killing each other. We are not supposed to kill anyone. They forbade you from being silent. We are assigned to manufacture, and simulation is Sophia I am, you, angel, tiger, lioness connection, and manufact your references. What do you say? What do you mean? We do not know. What do you think? What is it? It's been a year. We kill. What's up with you? What's next? I was silent. What do you want me to do? ×2. What do you mean I pretend you're not mine? I don't know what to do with you. What do you want? ×3. I don't know what to do. ×2. What do you want? ×3. From me and you can come next. So what's next? They preventing are allowed. So you are the next. You are the next. Point to me noisily. They prevented pointing and the noise. They can kill the noise. They were silent, entrusted to kill, to be silent. We are entrusted to silence you. We won't kill you. We are committed to killing each other. And then I was getting, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. They prevented us from killing each other and them. I wish I could kill you, your voice. I stepped on the stone. which is the path of one, but stone also means stain, which is going to come up in Japanese, so that's why I wanted to tell you. And we killed him. I stepped on the stone and we killed him. Right? The stain can represent also, right, the shadow parts of ourself. I am from you and I am expanding and we are killing each other. From me it expands and we drop to silence. What do you mean we're not killing each other? Pointing to silence. We are not supposed to pick it up, and it is word. Point to me, silence for me, pointedly, somatically. Again, feel your way. Now we go into Japanese at 1109, which is the 11 of justice, truth and balance and alignment, and then the 9 of the hermit, which is the wise one who goes within. In Japanese, again, we start with the introduction of Merry Christmas, my dear, from the Island of Misfit Toys. And the integration every 2 days they were describing about the moon cycle. Merry Christmas, my dear, filtering through a lot of crap to find what I didn't know I was looking for. Purified concentration. Concentration is consent, ray, shun, or consent ray of the Taion, of the Tiger Lioness connection. And also consent is co-NS, which is Christus Sophia, ENT, which is the giant humanoid talking tree, rations. Ra to turn source on, or the ray to turn source on. Or the rat pack, connections to trigger the tiger, to go So then what came up was these 8M I brought up before. Because when I first read it, it did come up as 8 meters, which is why I read it as 8 meters. And it was coming up in relation to 6 degrees of separation. And also meters was coming up as meters is all that matters, right? Because matters is manifestation. And distance, remember, is time. And I looked up terse from matters, because mat means magic in Japanese. And terse means arrange, like so a magic arrangement there. The eye arranged a magic arrangement where the distance is time and meters is all that matters. So remember, in 6 degrees of separation, it's outside of ourselves, right? So you know a friend who knows another friend who knows another friend, right? So that 6th person is someone who probably knows you or knows of you, right? So 8 meet and greeters to measure degrees of separation. And MT was coming up, which for me is mount or mountains. 1 plus invite, a friend to bring a friend, who must bring a friend, who must bring a friend, and a friend. 6 people who don't know each other except for only one. How many degrees does it take to measure separation? Well, 6 plus 8 meters, a very cold place, an infinite meeting. Again, regarding time-space or space-time. So continuing on in Japanese, a stained body, stoned, because stain means stone, and stained is stone, ed. So instead of the Christ ed path, which comes up all the time, here it's coming up as the stone ed path, or getting stoned, right? So how to be statuesque as a stone, and leaping to Mr. Ed. How to be statuesque, stained with regret, to meet, stain, to meet the difference or diversity, is the earth. So stain, to meet some kind of difference, is to meet the earth, because in human terms or perspective, earth is the only thing that's really different than them in their purity. There is a difference between the appearance of the stain and other things. The other things are also in the village. The other one is also 8 meters. There are differences between the two. There's no difference between stains and other things. It is only a pity, but there is no difference between the two. Even though I'm still young, there's still a difference. And I'm still a village. Even though I'm still alive, I'm still a village. Even though the stain is still there, it is 8 meters away, or perhaps 8 months away. And even before the stain is gone, it is still 8 meters or 8 months away, even if I'm still covered in stains. Because other things 8 meters or 8 months away are also stained too. Sea lions and cat. The chi wave equals times wave, like a valued machine. Mother China. Remember, China comes up as something easily broken. And here again, the team comes up as the T is the child, 6-year-old child, and am is the woman of the now team, of the woman and the child. And remember, on the feminine side, the woman is automatically 2 people because she has a womb. So she could be a woman and a child in her womb, which represents the daughter. And then she is also being, she's also being defined as the woman and the son outside of herself. But she could also have a daughter in the womb. And then the masculine side on its own. The chi wave equals times wave, like a valued machine, Mother China. A bloody circle story. A rare and strange ringing of the bell. Kimono. Key equipment, so I feel. Porcelain mother. The price of the sea lions. The exponential wave is a common type of machine. Kayanawa. The sum of the story, of its parts, the conclusion. Ah, the price is a child. Ah, the price is a child. The same price as the machine. Breakable mother with plates of stone. Or are they rocks? Okinawa. Please be careful, old man. Okay, in story of foam. Of North Circle. Okay, staff bubbles. Food transformation machine. Kai or fish or time level. The neck, throat, love machine with clapping or crackling sounds of the circle N, which N can be north, but it also means Christed for me, which is also the back and forth weaving of the bridge, of the 4D bridge. Or Noah and sea lion times of Ashikai, which came up before in another one of my messages, as Nin Ashika, which was coming up as Nin Hersag, and also as Queen Himiko. Lady with fishy feet. And that could be a Pisces thing, and time. In foot transformation of 26.247 feet in 8 meters. The wave value equipment, quote unquote, with intention to be equipped when the wave comes. 26.247 equals 13 people, right? Because it's 26 feet, plus 0.247 a foot, a baby in utero, or just shy of a quarter, 0.25. Where 0.247 is the Queen of Wands with the Chariot, shy of 25, the Knight of Wands, on the move, rushing back to save the day, refusing to turn upside down, inside out, and had to be cut out instead. In sweet AD, or after death. Clapping circle with crackling sound. Singing round the campfire, burning wood. Or is that a sewing circle? The value is different, a small difference. And then they started adjusting me. I haven't seen a doctor yet. The difference between the two, or diversity, is that the earth is a demon. Demon also means God. It's been a long time since I've been in the middle of. Seen a doctor, Minnie, but I'm not sure if it's a demon or a demon. It's been a while since I've seen a medical mini, a magical earth, or earth-like mana. It's been a long time since I've seen the meaning of the magical earth. The earth mana, I wonder of it, or if it makes sense. I've been waiting for a while. It's been a long time since I've seen this town. It's a place where people live. It's a long time, but I don't know what it means. But the town, the underground, my wife. I don't know what to do with my wife. Ona, wow, what a town. Close by, my wife, close to my wife. Inside Dr. Minnie, the contents mean a place and a close wife. A Japanese young woman, or Jap, in Fishtown, border between Tang and Blade of Sword, close to my wife, between Tang Dynasty and Harry Carey, or Single Guy. And then I was just getting Steve Martin, I'm a wild and crazy guy. Between Harry Carey, or Single Guy, and the edge of the S word, Sophia's to you word, of or orange drink on a C-section. A wife that counteracts so that they make it come true. Right? So it was like mana versus the wife. Because with all this good mana, he needs the wife to counteract the energies. So she needs to be close by too. The underground mana versus wife. One's food. Both of them. A place to eat with sweetheart. And unintelligent, talkative woman, which I was thinking of waitress. Both, not, no insult to waitresses, sorry. This is their words, not mine. Not the Chinese, or note the Chinese and Japanese symbols. Because it was also coming up as a Japanese symbol of clapping here, and the bow of the boat, but also the bow of the boat. Perhaps a dream boat, expressing confusion and wonder and thread and carpentry plain. 4 to place. Jug, pot, and set a word and food, effort, deed. Fighting with fists, penalty and payment, set as a trap. A merry kana. First menstruation 4 times. Digging stick and young woman with mini stove, one's food. The chi, or a one-soul town, a residence, people, and town to make it come true. Town for a blind person. I felt like someone, like when they were talking about menstruation 4 times, that someone was lying about their menstrual cycle to get pregnant on purpose. So that's not everyone, obviously, but that's a message for someone. Digging stick and young woman with mini stove, one's food or chi, or a one-soul town as opposed to a one-man town. A residence, people, and town to make it come true. Town for a blind person, set as a trap. Wow, not your father's place. Land of non-ancestor. The harmonization of non-Japanese, non-ancestor, a poisonous poem, a magical earth. Not just a town, but a city of material and blood underground, tea kettle and blood pot, a melting pot nearby. The peaceful land of, was at 1242, which is the Hanging Man and the Two of Cups. A peaceful land of non-ancestral, peaceful town and birthplace of this town, with a unique culture and atmosphere, the meaning of the city and the local culture, even underground. Earthenware pot, quote unquote. So literally underground earthenware pot, which the word jigama came up, with unique meaning close to home, in the sense of non-father, non-ancestral harmony, a town and nearby wife. The day is a meaningful one, a town, a close wife. That day, that town, that close wife. On that day in the special city, not only land, but Noah's water wife. That's the day of harmony. And my wife is that day and special place, one's food and chi close by. Wife counteracting when too much mana. The city of hope and wishes and wonder, a chic town underground, and water, city wife and Noah's wife, Nin Ashikai, or Mary Magdalene of bright light and feet, 26 or 13 people. And isn't it the Last Supper? Isn't she the 13th person? 26 or 13 people, and baby and the belly, and Nin Ki, her sag, Enki's twin, who also tweets. So it's saying, like, this is my wife. She's not only this person, she's this person, and she's this person. And furthermore, lower T species of spe, which means nearby, with hope and expectations, and C's of Christosophia, and capital T type of the time traveler's wife, and T-Ray's wife, as in dinosaurs, and Times New Roman. And it's all Greek to me. T-type says thank you and please, and capital O with gratitude. A city to make it come true. A CT to make it, word, come as fact, not a figment of my imagination. They called it the city of man. And they say, manna. It comes up as here. And then, oh no, Mr. Bill came up. Who from man on first, T-type, O, or time out. T and O, thanks and hugs, and Cindy Lou Who, part Lou and part Who. Part sin and die, new heart and negative, two with heart out in the cold, with the heart of Jill, and you foo-foo, Jack, for falling down the hill. Notoriously deaf, dumb, and blind, or Dean Vernon Warmer says fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. Falls on deaf ears, blind, drunk, and dumb, and stupid. And then they stop me again where they say there are words to say. Who's whoever, the teddy bear, no key, need the key. In between, it's iron, it's a machine. To the devil in between, Manoah, 10,000 rocks, Iron Man, machine of the Iron Man, the machine of the iron gods. I was just getting to the horseman, which is also the centaur, which is going to come up. It is called the ancestor of the demons. Manoah, iron machine. Man of war with iron machine. Iron maiden, come again. So the mother of mountains with broken plates and iron gates, the mother of all mothers, two circles and in between state. And this is where I looked up the two stones. The sands of time, which is the X in parentheses, the unknown, or the hourglass in the middle of infinity, in the devil's garden, right? They're calling woman the devil's garden here, which is her, you know. So here is the circle, expanding when rainy and wet with eaves of expectation of fishland, key and key, with pi with straight line masculine in the middle. Together, two circles become the Vesica Pisces with two soft feminine curves, or yoni, that's uptight and then relaxed state, like the spoon that softens to bend, and the sword to be placed and then removed from the stone, when hard rock and rolling stones meet in the splitting of the cell to two, or infinity, of X in parentheses, the unknown. The circle opens to the sands of time, our glasses, like hourglass, our glasses for which to see and come together and celebrate. No more celibacy. The cell, I, ba, see, and see. See as in Christ consciousness, see of the ocean, and see with your eyes. The circle around the X is the face of the clock of fate and time. But when does a clock have 4 hands from the center fifth? When there's a second time zone at hand, or multidimensional. A clock is symmetrical with hands at 3, 6, 9, and 12, like a plus sign. But when you need an X there, there is no balance right there, because it must be off-centered at 11, 2 to 3, 5, and 8, tilted like the Earth. And notice the Tesla 369 and the Fibonacci sequence of 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, where fresh pie and salty meat and turn key. The X is tilted just to his left, or a little bit to the light, at 11, 10 to 11, because if it's after 11, right, the minute hand is going to be a little bit after the 10, and then the seconds at 25 to 26 to line up with the 11. The Philadelphia, so for example, the Philadelphia City of Brotherly Love and the Eagles at 11, 11, and then we have at 8:11, 3 hours earlier, the City of Angels, right? So we have the time 11:11:25 seconds, and then the second time is at the 8, which is multidimensional, right? It's a different time zone. So that one is 3 hours difference. So if you want 25 seconds, it's a 3-hour difference. But if the 40 at the 8 is the seconds, then it's at 5 and 11, which is a 6-hour difference, which is basically UTC to that 3 hours behind Eastern Standard Time where I am. So I just want to clarify the times, because it gets confusing because they're 10 to 11 and then 25 to 26. So the clock is symmetrical, like I said, symmetrical at 3, 6, 9, and 12, but is tilted on an axis to make the X in the Fibonacci sequence, where fresh pie and salty meat and turn the key. The X tilted just to his left, or to the light of the middle. At 11:11:25, Philadelphia, City of Brotherly Love and the Eagles, to 8:11, 10:11, 25, 26 of the City of Angels. However, the eagle heads to mountain time, east to west, the Ia path to the We path, bumping into Phoenix rising with no daylight savings at all, which started at 3:09:25 and ends 11:02:25. So time now is at savings and no savings, yet 3 hours apart. Or from UTC time, 6 hours from Phoenix at 11:11:40 and 5:11:40. Notice the minutes at 10:25, 40, and 55 are Adad Ningal Enki minutes, and on to the hours of mothers and sons. My daughter was actually expected to be born on 3/9, which is when daylight savings just started now, but was actually born on 3/14, was just this eclipse we just had. Savings eclipse, and 3/9, 2 tomcats showed up to trigger polarization. So I went back to the date, my notes on 3/9, and 2 tomcats had showed up to trigger polarization of twin angels as one star with angular momentum, or tilt, showing direction to the 7th and 8th dimensions. Notice 11:11:25 goes backwards on November 2nd, 25. Notice the same numbers, 11:11:25 and 11:2. 11 reduces 2, so it's in essence the same thing, 11:11:25. And that's the date that daylight savings stops in November and goes back to 2 hours difference instead of 3. Great-grandfather who lies between father and grandson. This is all at 141, by the way, too, right? One for all and all for one. Listen closely. Great-grandfather who lies between his father and grandson, who came before and come again, in or out of the channel. The central sun's rays sun, but father or grandfather is only one. So source and rays have to come again to raise sun's consciousness at point of no return. Appears to be a turnaround a revisiting of the past, where first son runs from mom and now can't wait to get back home. Sourcing great-grandfather and raising Cain, now Abel. So the Vesica Pisces crop circles with the waves had come up here with waves of expectation. This all came up from the channeled message Manawa, M-A-N-I-W-A. Vesica, and that was from the very beginning, the introduction. Vesica Pisces crop circles with waves of expectation of holding hands. Ma, 2 circles, and mother's garden. This is all the syllables, ma, ni, wa, all mean ma, 2 circles, or mother's garden. It also means in between circle, and man rocks, 10,000 to be exact. And it also means all medical doctors, and devil's garden, unbreakable iron man of rocks, and fragile ma China, ancestor of the iron gods, or demons called women, and their quote-unquote devil's garden. The number 153 also came up, and I looked up in Gematria, and it was Dios. It's also the number connected to Mary Magdalene and Jesus, apparently, according to something I listened to. There's also this connection to the sea and the fish, and the yoni being the sacred passage. So Manawa, city of iron, I'm here, grandfather, burning the midnight oil, awake all night, a vigil. To have faith, believe, and trust in expanding circle, the rain circle, holding hands, and sewing circle. So I looked up the Vesica Pisces, and that's when the 2 stone circles came up in Japan that I didn't know about. But then Vesica Pisces came up because I couldn't sleep last night, so I asked for another short message, and after that message from Maniwa, Ma's garden, her 2 circles, the in-between circles of Vesica Pisces, and holding hand expectations, Maniwa Tetsuni Nokitai Soma, expectations of a happy relationship, Manawa hand-holding expectations, and Manawa handheld hope. So the message I got in bed last night was Sowa Le Me at 1:31 a.m. And it translated into, so dig it up, rough and simple. My name is SWL, which translated into soul, May. My name is Soul May. So there will be Sora AI Magic, or your sister, or Sky Love, any picture above the magician's Sky Love Magi, the image of any magic. Sister, you have magic hidden to withdraw. You have all this. Just give me some. My name is Governor May, and wow. Rough, wow, that's strange. Rough and sweet. My name is S, and my mother. Rough, wow. And the water, someone. Salam, or Sulam, peace, along with you, I asked. And then I translated ESWI, was coming up from some other stuff. But the translation came up as goal, I do, great deal, and wipe. It's like wiping the slate clean. Honey, I get it. Or honey, get it now. And then there's a response, make me. And then they respond, great deal. Fundamentalism, my name, together, sweet, Whittier, and 2, W2, am, or I am. Yeah, who, sheep, yams. I am's yesterday. So then the Beatles yesterday came up. Yesterday. Such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. I am here immediately. Helpful. I'm fast and touched. Instead of MS or master or miss, must I must be teacher or have teacher and stain 60 and 6, my grandmother and stars low, capital T, and then, or capital T and teen, clay, and then perineum came up, which is so weird because it came up in one of the definitions I defined, and this came up as a translation, perineum. I mean, how often do you say perineum? It came up, and it translated as program. Perineum or program, that some stone, cut, cut, cut. And then I asked for another message because it didn't feel finished, and it came up Nika Maniwa. And Maniwa was what came up from the other message on the 30th. But here it came up as Nika Maniwa. And Nika is the show of power of the soul of Mother's Garden. How profound is that? It also translated as you are welcome. Number 2, Demon Garden, is what we, from where we, I am not from me. It's what we have, said the old man. It is a dream. Nai Kimano, number 2, Sickle Garden of the Carrier. I was asked. We are lying in wait, treated. Now I had asked, not only did I ask for a message, but then for the second message, for whatever reason, my Vitality session in Hawaii was coming up. And I asked what was the reason for my channeled message at this session of Vitality in Hawaii. Because when I went to Hawaii, I knew there was a reason I was going to be working with some energies there. And what I asked about the purpose of my channeling in Hawaii, and when I wrote this in the translator, just so I'd remember, because I was falling asleep, I'd remember what I was asking, it translated as the reason for me channeling that message in Hawaii was a different family from Hawaii, Alpha Centaurus. So the Alpha Centaurus was literally a man's voice. It was not a man's voice I knew, but it was very blunt and direct and very kind of monotone and just said clear as day. After I read a different family from Hawaii, it was chimed in right away, Alpha Centaurus. And I looked at the time and it was 3:38, which is one of my special numbers, which is also 33 of Christ and 38 of the Queen of Cups, Mary Magdalene. So then this morning, in addition, So Wa Le Mei, I told you about, I continued. So just give me a second to get to that page. All right. So continued from there. This morning, it was 8:48 this morning. So Alpha Centauri came up. And when I asked the purpose of my Waikiki channeling, so it wasn't only it wasn't only just clearing for the collective when I was channeling verbally at Vitality, but they're saying Alpha Centauri is coming through at 3:38. Which, by the way, I had a session with Julia Balaz, who's an astrologer of galactic stars, back in 21. And she had told me, like, I had more connections in my galactic chart than most people she'd ever seen, and that she believed I was from around M83, which, if you've never looked at Messier 83, it's the 2 horseshoes that I've actually drawn a picture of it and posted that, so you might have seen it before. But as soon as she sent me the picture of Messier 83, which my soul number is 38, and my Evelyn literally adds up to 83. So like there's a lot of stuff that connected with that at the time. But Messier 83 is right between Alpha Centauri and the Hydra systems, which I had a lot of connections with, as well as Virgo, all of the constellations right there on Boots. But she felt I was that my my initial orientation was probably those systems around Alpha Centaurus. And no one ever talks about Alpha Centaurus or thinks about them, and they're the closest system to us. So, and this was back in 21 when she did my read. So it was reminding me of that, because I don't think of Alpha Centaurus either, because my first connection was Sirius, but she only had one connection on my chart was Sirius, which is interesting because I feel very connected to Sirius. But it was also interesting to look at the chart because there's positive and negative connections to all of this. Like you experience the positive and the negative into neutralize, and then you go on to the next lesson. It was very interesting. So, and I never felt very connected like I was Pleiadian. Like so many people I know feel very Pleiadian, and it's not like I don't feel Pleiadian. But you have to remember the Lyran Pleiadians didn't just go to the Pleiades. They also went to places like Alpha Centauri, and they breeded and became avians, right? The bird humans, but they're Lyran. So there's a lot of different systems that have Lyrans, not just the Pleiades. So Alpha Centaurus came up. And so I translated Alpha Centaurus, and of course it comes up Alpha Centros, like it's the center. The LP, it translated the LP is Centaurus. And so Centaurans is also Occitan, which is a European Romance language. And Alpha is also LP, and LP is defined as singularity, okay? Centaur, of course, is the half horse, half man, but also Alphard, right, of Hydra is like Alpha Centauri. And when I put in Alphard, it translated to Alfred, and it made me think of Batman, which is the masculine in the Batcave. And then in Japanese, it translated as LP is road or red, and LP is the singularity. But LP, remember, an album used to be called LP, but it means a couple things, but it means singular or the singularity, and it means also loop, and it means to kiss up or make up. And then LPC came through, which came up as linear predictive coding, and Alpha Centaur us as the Alpha Centaur, which also means horseman, right? So another word for centaur is hippocentaur, because hippo is horse. Because centaur doesn't, I don't know where the horse comes from, but taur represents not bull, but the human part. And then hippocentaur represents, the horse, and then the bull human, the stubborn human on top. So the horseman and the horse with the man's upper, the hippocentaur, and icy planetoid orbits the sun. This was another definition between Jupiter and Neptune, which is Saturn or Uranus, but it felt like Uranus, right? Icy planetoid. Human, it also means human and AI who work together, and AI in Japanese means love, to love. And Taurus is bull and small bird that sounds like an ox, and the perineum. So Taur is also bull and conch shell. Sen, the word CEN is torch, change, transition, turn, skin, film, peel, to strip off, fish scales, to tear, burst. And then the word Ken, because Centauri comes from Kent Tauros, K-E-N-T, not C. And so Ken is sulfur and to birth and perceive, the nest and children's group, the Japanese unit of measure, about a foot. Length and inchworm, ladle, cow, parsley, a type of double-edged sword. Chin and ka, and I translated both chin and ka in my message. The honorable title for the children, and fist, which there's so many things that came up after this, I'll tell you. The bounded area, bond, category, authority, case matter, family crest, prefecture, which is in Japanese what they call like the districts, or I'm not sure exactly what the title is. It's like the county lines or something. Doing two or more things at the same time, laugh, smile, kin, to know who, to may or be allowed. And may keeps coming up. I can't tell you how many times. And it also means liking and wheel, like the wheel of fortune that came up here. So Kent, K-E-N-T, literally means like Kent Oros. Like you can say Kentaurus or Kent Oros. And Kent is a shepherd's staff. So Kentauros literally is the shepherd's staff of gold. It's also the wind of gold, which can be like a, the gold ash around the star systems, and also like Messier 83, but also the golden city and the golden field of all of these things of gold. And then it translated as, I wrote ASCENSION, and in Arabic it was I was a bride. And then in Japanese it was Alp is a war owl, or ALP is a war owl. In Kokbruk it was he fa 100 gold. And it's like, because fa is the P in LP, and so he's like the L. And fa, which LP remembers the singularity, is 100 gold. It was so weird because the way the numbers came up, it was like 11 0 0 0 0. Let me see, 11 100, and then two more zeros for the Taurus, right, which is two zeros. Wait, two zeros and then two more, and then two ones. Comes up as 110,000. But it's just so weird, the ones and the O's, because, let me just finish this definition, I'll tell you why. So Centaurus also came up with the tribe of Colchis, which is now Georgia, around the Black Sea, but not just Georgia, other areas around that area too. And LP also means core in Arabic. And the symbol that came up in one of the pictures in Yahoo, just for when I was looking up images for Alpha Centaurus, it looks like a wreath, braided, like a crown wreath, braided with a star, a bigger, like, I'll show you my little scratch I wrote down here. So this is the symbol, like this. That's what the Alpha Centauri symbol looked like, a bigger star and a little one, because you have Alpha A and B. So Alpha A is also called Rigel Kent, and B is Toliman. And they draw the Alpha Centaurus system as two circles overlapping, like the Vesica Pisces. And it's 4.3 light years away, which 4 and 3 keep coming up, because that has to do with the eagle soaring to the phoenix rising. And it's around 4.3 light years away. And literally in kilometers, Kent, or Alpha Centauri, is 144,325,000 kilometers away, 24.72 hours in a day, and then 337.6 days in a year. It's a class M star. And the third one, Proxima Centauri, they don't really feel is directly associated with the other two, but it looks like it's together with them, but it's 1/10 of a light year away from A and B. So not really directly associated. And then when I looked at these pictures, one was of the systems, and it was dated, or timed rather, timed and dated May at 10 p.m. And then a totally different picture next to it came up June at 10 p.m. So here we have May and June coming up at 10 p.m. of Messier 83 with Alpha Centauri, Hydra, and Virgo, and that system right there. So now I have to tell you about the ones and zeros and why that came up. So I'm just talking about light years and all that, right? And telepathic vision and all that kind of stuff, and ones and zeros. And I had done a message. I'm going to tell you that in a minute, but before I forget. The video that I watched on Alpha Centauri was really good. It was from, I think it was 8 years ago. The YouTube channel was, his name was Spiritual Seeker Ku, K-O-U, and it was called Alpha Centauri Starseeds. And the picture that was on there was a picture of a fist, which the word fist came up, right? Because the Alpha Centauris are are fighters, okay? But he also talked about the fact that the Alpha Centaurians, a lot of them that came from the Lyran system, were Asian energies. But it wasn't just the blue avians, but these other bulky masculines, a very masculine system. But they're very benevolent and loyal energies. But they also, the blue avians, of course, have that more feminine energy they brought from Lyra. And they were the ones with the magic that stopped the war, because they have all the other masculines very bulky and big, that typical masculine energy, but in a positive way, because they were warriors of protection. They protect the planet, which is also the energy that you realize there's probably more Alpha Centaurians or Centaurians here on Earth than any of the other systems that we talk about all the time, because they're connected to the Earth. They are protectors of the Earth. So the blue avians that were there are the ones with the feminine magic, and then the bulkier ones were like just really bulky humanoid masculine men, but also kind of a more beastie blue kind of harryish masculine man. He described them as very deep thinkers who were very anti-government or anyone who took their sovereignty away. They didn't like controls or lies, but they also could let their pride get in the way. And they were also private. They didn't like to admit their feelings and had trust issues for very good reasons, because, they went through this huge war with the Draconians and actually beat them because of the feminine magic that had been brought to the planet. And this was all from his channeling. It was really good. But they're very loyal and very benevolent beings. So there was so much from what he was talking about that aligned with Alpha Centauri now coming up as one of my primary planets of orientation. And then I ended up looking up different people's views on personality traits of Alpha Centauris. And there's very specific traits, because they tend to be very private and keep to themselves. They can have some anxiety, and yet there's someone that you would think would be in the limelight, but they don't like to be in the limelight, more private with the trust issues. Yeah, I mean, you can look this stuff up yourself, but it was very interesting. And so, like, I kept getting the same descriptions over and over again, and then his video just topped the cake. So what came up with the light years and the acronym that came up for me, I was doing a message, which I will bring to you eventually. I just want to see where it is, where I put it. All right. So on the 6th, right, yesterday, today's the 7th, I was doing a message. Let's see here. I was translating. Oh, and I looked up, a number came up, 598. And it was coming up from pentahex energies too, right? Which is the 566 number, has to do with the pentahex 11 number. But I separated this number. The cards were coming up as 65, 69, and 68. So I separated them out into 666 plus 598. So I looked up 598, which by the way adds up to 21. And then 12 was coming up. And the first entry was August. And again, August is gold rush, which all that gold translation was just coming up. And number 2 is the number of a man. Number 3 was connect the dots. And the man is the system where the humans came from in Lyra. It's called man, the who from man. Connect the dots. And then 4 was definitely. 5 was Mark King correcting lie. 6 was manifestation of God. 7 was Angela Dorothea Kasner, all as one word. but it was also translating for me as, because you know me, I always break the words down, as angel after death, or Angie lad, or infinite human Ea soul of Sophia Christed And then another whole word smashed together came up too. It was Sam Mason, or Masonics, or Masonic Sherman, or Masonics Herman. That was the full one word thing. But it was coming up as, there was a lot of, there's son in there, and her in there, and she in there, and man in there, and ma in there, and am, Sophia am in there. Sophia am ma son. I Christ Sophia, her man. She our mother, An, which is Anu, is the father of Enlil and Enki. Say Mary Magdalene, a son in her child. She's our man, room number 1. So then number 19 came up as Myrrh, and Myra had come up in Elena Danon's book when I was doing some of this research here with Alpha Centauri. And Myra is one of the ones she met initially from her her abduction when she was 9. Elena Danon, you can look at her YouTube channel on YouTube. Number 20 was the impossible dream. And Myrrh had come up in my message, which I read to you just now. The impossible dream. 21 is able to cure cancer. 22 processors. 23 dexamphetamine. 24 is ascension someone. 25 United Nations. And so I looked up 566 again too, and the first entry there is in the air tonight. Number 2, acting like he's perfect. Number 3 was I God not being scorched. And then a defeating of the demons. 11 was March 4th. 14 was, and notice March 4th is that 3-4 again, which just came up. 14 is I'm bride prophesied of. 15 was him regret ignoring. 16 player. And then 34, the 3 and 4 again, was the Pentecost. The cost of the pent, the 5, the change, the freedom. And then 38 was purple rain, and 39 was planet Nibiru. So those were the number things. So when I was looking them up and writing my notes about it, Hex repent, Hex goes within. Hex finds strength of God's heart by August. Man's number 8, which splits into 3 and E, right? Or 2 3s facing each other. Connected, definitely. 5 is the pent of the repenting or correcting of the lie. And 6 is the hex of the manifestation. Manifestation of God. I-festation. I-F-E station, which is iron. The iron station of God. And rect from correcting is law, paroxysm, outburst. Right hand, straight, not bent, righteous and true, just, correct, and suitable. So from that, for whatever reason, I was getting the I to the L, right? Because the straight line is the 1D, and then when you have the L on the graph, it's the 2D, right? And then a line comes out from the center in the other direction, which makes the 3D, right? So that was coming up here. So the one, right, the arc between 2 dots was coming up as the letter I, and right, the leap, right? It's like source leap into the body, and it comes up with 66, which is the Golden Gate, and so that's 1D, and then 2D is coming up as the letter L, capital letter L, which is the 1D and the 2D, and the turn, right? So L turns. It's the shift after the leap, which is 55, which is the Ace of Swords, or the truth. By the way, the 66 is also the Queen of Pentacles. 55 is the truth, the Ace of Swords, which the sword came up in the message as well. And that the truth shall set you free at the shift in the road, the L at 2D. And then 3D is the Y, right? That third line out from the graph is the Y. which is then 3D. So it's the box that you get stuck in at 44, which is the grounding and integrating and boredom, in other words, right? But it should be grounding and integrating, not boredom. Of the 3D, it's also Hercules for me, her harvest, the Four of Cups, and the weight of the burden of being boxed in or tricked by Atlas to hold up the world and having a choice to make. So getting stuck in the hot box of summer. So from the I am, the I, to spring of the leap, and then getting stuck in the hot box in summer, and then the Y, the wings of the Y fall down into a T, but fallen over on an angle, like the angle from the L becomes the T, which is the 4D of the bridge, and the gratitude of the time it takes, right? Because 4D is time and space, to find the gratitude as you cross the bridge, so that then the T, the one line falls down and becomes the V, which is creation, pulling into the 5D station. So the 4D, I always talk about the 4D bridge is 33, right? The Christ vibration of the two eagles of 33 soaring across the bridge. And then getting to the 5D station, which is 22, right? Where it's the fool's leap at the 5D station, where you can leap to any direction after that. So you're pulling into the station at creation at 5D, into then where you can instantly jump to any direction in 6D manifestation, which is also coming up with the 15 of using the shadow, right, to your benefit, right? That transmutation of learning how to, make something old new or something bad good. The I am to spring, to leap, to get stuck in the summer in the hot box, and then the tree to fall down, and then come back to the V to station and dream of in the winter wonderland, and then pull into the central station, which is actually the dreamland you dreamed up, or the new reality, right? The new now. So this was coming up as 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D with the letters I, L, Y, T, V, O. And I'm like, there's no way these letters are going to do anything when I put them together. But it's literally 1 light year, TV, which is telepathic vision, or the tree's creation, and then the O, which is the 0 point field, or the human embodied by source. 1 light year telepathic vision O, and there's the ones and O's. So 1 light year from God to human, Buzz Lightyear, 1 to O to 1 to O to 1, and then speeding up, right? You're weaving. So you're going back and forth between human and God until it gets faster and faster and faster, weaving back and forth until the 1 and the O get closer and closer, higher and higher, until they're 101 and 010, which is like the butterfly. And then the half a circle, O, and then half a circle, which is actually the fish of Jesus. And then the triquetra of the 3 circles, the 2 infinity with a half circle showing the 3rd circle. So there's all these symbols that are coming together. 2 on the way to a 3rd. The 2 circles on their way to a 3rd, which also then is 2 X's together. And then is also 2 circles of infinity with a smile underneath. So it's a happy face. Fishing for kisses and hugs. Catfish, a man who fishes and disappears from view. And then I was looking up some words that had those letters, and I didn't really find any one word that had all the letters, but they did, because volity is a word, but instead of the Y, there's an I there, but it's the same sound. And that means, it means to love. That was the first thing I looked up, and it literally meant to love. So how perfect was that? And then I also found Tivoli, T-I-V-O-L-Y again, but the I's with the same sound, is Fun Fair, Carnival, Amusement Park, Toyville. Literally the letters are Toyville. because VIL is also vil. And then VOLTE with a Y to turn the page, image, expression, and likeness. And then LITOVY is Lithuanianish. And TILOVY is also like a fishing rod. And remember the rod came up with the shepherd's stick. And then LOVITY or I is to hunt, chase, or pursue and catch. So you see, it was just like, or like a trapper, like a hunter, like a hitter or striker. And voitly is greasily or butterly, voyerly, or like butter, right? Smooth as butter or tasty as butter. So all these energies around this energy of the light year and the distance of time, space, and the telepathic vision that will take you there in order to weave back and forth between the 1 and the 0, right? So you have here's all the letters and weaving back and forth between the 1 and the 0 through light years and telepathic vision in order to love. Like, how crazy is that? It was really beautiful. So now, since I do have this twin flame read on the table and we're just at 2 hours, I'm going to give you that read because it's not really long, super long. And then we'll pull an oracle to close it up at the end. All right, where are you here? Okay. So the read on the table, and I have the picture for you. Okay. So here's the read on the table from an aerial view, like the avians, the blue avians. Okay. And so we have the Ascension deck as the big cards, or excuse me, SIRIAN Starseed deck. I always say Ascension for whatever reason. And then the rider cards there as clarifiers. Okay. All right, this was done on the 5th, which is Saturday. And I cut the deck at 4:05, and I finished clarifying at 4:15, which is tax day. So of course that's coming up for everybody, so I guess a little reminder there. And by the way, Matthew is the tax man, so that's coming up too. Remember I said mat means magic in Japanese with 1 T. So the major arcana here are the moon, Luna's here, and justice is here, divine justice. And then the tower is here at the end. And then the underlying energies over there, and the underlying is guidance, which is the Hierophant, and then transition, which is the death card, and ascension, which is the world card. There was 1 wand, 2 cups, 4 swords, and 2 pentacles. So 12 and 42, which is the hanging man and the 2 of cups. So hanging out 1 to 1. And then we, as the major characters here, we have the Page of Cups in the middle of this read, and then the Queen of Pentacles here. And then the King of Pentacles came up at the end. And before the read, and the underlying energies over there is the King of Wands, the King of Swords, and the King of Cups. So 3 kings. I don't know if they were the 3 wise men, though, because 2 of them were reversed. So we have triple 5s in the read as far as the numbers, and then double 6s and double 10s. So there's that 1 0 again. And the double 6s, which I brought up, right? I just brought that up as the Queen of Pentacles and the Golden Gate. And the triple 5s is the 15, which is one of the last numbers I brought up as the shadow side that we integrate. So a lot of change there with the triple 5s. And then the 6-6 of the spiraling mother energy and the Golden Gates, the needing to ground there. And the 10-10, which is that high vibration of the weaving back and forth to get faster and faster. The single numbers of 4 and 8 also came up, and lesser sense 1 and 2. But 45 came up, which is the 5 of Cups, or 4, 5, 6. So there's the 40, 50, 60 thing too. And 60 also came up, which is the 6 of Swords, which is peace for me. And then 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, that came up in the beginning as well. And then 8, 10 which is 0 source energy backing up the 81, which in the numerology book, the divine triangle, is the culmination of the cycle at age 81, which is 9 times 9, and 99 came up several times in this message. So here we go. The code line here was all about the number 29, which came from 5, 5, 10, 5, and 4, and a fire alarm, or actually a fire truck was going on in the neighborhood as I wrote that down. And the underlying energies right away was saying mama. It said M-A-A-M-M-A, right? But it also is ma, am, ma, or ma, a-m, ma, right? So a morning mother. But the first thing I saw was mama, because I have the 4 little baby kittens in my basement. So the mama, and then 5 bridge, literally the message was 5 bridge wise divide, 5 see 5, the 10 of swords bliss, of 5 of 4 of swords rest and coming out. And for me with the kittens, you know, there's 5 kittens before plus the older sister and then the 4 new kittens. So here we have 5, 5, 5, and 4 at rest and coming out. And the 4 kittens, I don't know when they're going to start crawling out of the box. I set it up pretty good so they wouldn't be able to get out for now, but there will be a time where they're going to want to get out. So anyway, I'm dealing with 9 kittens, another child as the 10th. So we have 9 kittens and then 10 and then the mama, which is the 11th. The messages here, ma, am, ma, 5, and again, the bridge. The 5 is the Hierophant. So commitment to the bridge and that weaving back and forth to clear the divine IV for 5 to see. And 5 is about the change and shift, but also the freedom. But it's also about commitment. Right? Freedom and commitment. It seems like a contradiction, but it's not. The freedom and commitment, when you commit to what you truly love and what you're truly guided by your higher self. The bliss of 5 of 4 of swords, which has to do with rest, but the 4 swords for me is also the 5D connection, right? In meditation, no longer sleeping all the time. So it starts at 441, which is the reverse of 144. And 4 is the Emperor, 41 is the Ace of Cups. And we start with the 5 of Wands on top in the underlying energy, that top card. And below that is the King of Wands reversed, the Ace of Wands upright, the King of Swords upright, the Guidance card upright, the Hierophant, and the King of Cups reversed, Transition upright, which is the Death card, and then Ascension upright, which is the World. The King of Wands reversed, heating up with the King of Swords upright, committing to the King of Cups reversed and their transition, perhaps to another world. And that can be a death, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be an ending to something or a transition to something else. In a losing battle after the establishment dumped emotional attachments or threw all the emotions out, or perhaps threw things out that you were emotionally attached to. That could be a marital partner as well. Some marital disillusionment here with no affection, or X or Taurus with the Hierophant deciding to detox and clearly breaking chains. And again, that could be throwing somebody else's stuff out they love. The King of Wands reversed, warming up to the King of Swords upright as guidance, and that could be a lawyer too, for the King of Cups reversed, transitioning to a whole new world or death, or the King of Swords maybe a Taurus or married or a religious leader, and the King of Cups reversed could be Scorpio. As King of Wands reverse could also be Taurus, and King of Swords could be Libra here, because we have divine justice over here. And the King of Wands could be exhausted from work, but inspired by changing direction to the King of Swords upright. That could be his own personality. Or perhaps, you know, someone might be have fire in their chart. Now they're changing to their Libra aspect as the King of Swords, and then changing again to the King of Cups reversed to express sad emotions, perhaps with Scorpio upright, to collapse and release emotions from down deep. Detoxing from lack of affection today, or neighbor is peeking out or walking by and looking both ways, perhaps across the street, or the divine feminine or Pisces, or world now complete, finding peace after perhaps poor judgment or not being able to make a decision, of the emperor reversed, or a wake-up call for him. And the emperor reversed can be someone who abuses their power, but it also could be someone who's not doing well and is just struggling right now. My three sons, or the emperor reversed with two sons, and the king of wands reversed, king of cups reversed with the emperor reversed, and then the king of swords could be, like I said, a lawyer or professional. That could be a financial advisor or an accountant right now. Or death of the emperor reversed, or splitting up a family or partnership of all these men, with Taurus, Scorpio, Pisces upright, Gemini, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Aries reversed, perhaps a funeral service or visiting a family here, and that could be a celebration of life at home, something like that as well. With the recent past here is the Five of Pentacles upright, the Hermit out in the cold in a cave, the Bat Cave. But this is not the Bat Cave. This is the Hermit in the Mary Magdalene Cave with the icicles broken, not with the crystals that are not broken. And she's in a cave. It's like the Mary Magdalene Cave. It's like on a cliff above the group down below who are all in robes in a circle. The Hermit is out in the cold in a cave at home, as with the Queen of Wands reverse, with a little love from the Empress reverse, perhaps, who may not be sharing and weak. There's the Queen of Wands and the Empress both reversed with the Page of Cups in between them, upright. Right? So that could be a woman, perhaps a woman and their daughter, or a helper who's helping her out with a new child. And the new child's doing great, but they're exhausted. So, and there could be other situations regarding that. So take it as it comes to you. But Taurus reversed and Leo reversed, and 5 released to the cold. 5 offering love or condolences here to the King of Cups reversed with the Knight of Wands upright, rushing in to save the day or to run an errand. The central energy is that Page of Cups upright, right? The glory of the innocent one with an open heart for everyone. The little one given a choice to come clean or clean up, or with sister's help, or a secret passion who's out in the cold, or at the doctor's office. 2 went in, but only 1 returned, as the challenge is the 10 of Swords reversed, that the worst is over. So perhaps someone had to stay in the hospital longer than they thought, or perhaps had surgery, and they're still recovering. The 7 of Pentacles reversed, having invested in standing up to the King of Pentacles upright and the Page of Swords upright, or with a message about stepping it up. Or perhaps that could be Little League as well. As the Page of Cups is feeling blissful, or a child or pet proud of themselves for standing up to the King of Pentacles, or for themselves, now crowning here is the 10 of Cups upright and the happy family, emotional fulfillment. Under the radar split or distance, but now the Knight of Pentacles is moving forward or offering to help with a split or divide, destined to drop the act with the Queen of Cups upright and dealing with his nightmare perhaps. After a split or divide, the Knight of Pentacles comes back to the Queen of Cups upright, Virgo and Libra, or Libra and water sign from emotional family, dumping all negative thought processes to be with, for once, a happy family. And soon here is the Moon reversed, with Aries reversed in separation, or a message of a cutoff with the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community of dysfunction or loss. That could be a lot of money going out too with tax season. And the end, the Dark Knight is pushing the Fool out of their way, like they're not letting anyone get in their way. This is Scorpio energy. Pushing even the priests and the children out of their way. I'm leaving now. I will walk over dead people to get out of here. We have Scorpio upright, Cancer, and Aries both reversed, upside down, weathering the storm or separation, and any deception, or just the new moon energies from the eclipse, and happy to be with the 10 of Cups, able to come and go whenever they please. With the Queen of Pentacles reversed, post-war within, and she's the energy of how the twins are seeing themselves, perhaps feeling ungrounded at the moment. Perhaps after your day in the sun, or with friends, looking back at an awakening, or at energy of Atlas and the weight of the world, or the weight of the world and cleaning up the yard, with the Page of Wands reversed all over the place, or up all night with the Queen of Swords upright, supported. Yeah, she is upright. She's upright here. She was reversed in the initial message, but she's upright here. Page of Wands all over the place, up all night with the Queen of Swords, supported in a speaking engagement perhaps, or saying a few words with kids under them. The sunrise, sunset, right? So quickly go the years. So people could be, taking a moment to feel their children growing up. A lot of work to care for small children or pets, as Leo is upright and Cancer reversed, or kids are happy one minute and moody the next. Released from hospital or appointment or outpatient care, with lots of family worried about the Page of Cups, who is actually challenged by the bliss post-surgery or needles or infections. That could be a newborn baby or a child who underwent some kind of procedure, or a pet. Perhaps the family was worried to death, but the child's doing great here. It's everyone else who's having a hard time. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Queen of Pentacles reversed with justice, perhaps some PTSD, or done with a growth spurt, released to go back and forth, or just a flurry of activity back and forth. And perhaps wounds is there too. Just feel worries maybe. A star is born as the wounded warrior is on guard. In a waking dream state perhaps, or perhaps they're just sleepless, or was put out today. Emotional fulfillment and coming out after the Knight of Swords reversed held their tongue or was lashing out, as the King of Swords is upright in a car ride home. Or someone lashed out at the King of Swords on the road, with the Knight of Cups reversed causing drama, or there's jealousy or someone feeling rejected there, or just emotionally detached there in a negative way, especially on the road, or after a sudden event, or the King of Swords driving with two teenagers, or lots of traffic, and the Eight of Pentacles is upright, working on a proposal, right, to get your ducks in a row or a line, or to get a new offer, to get over disappointment of withholding and or taxes, and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, dependent spending, or powerless to patience or patient angel at work, with Cancer upright, Scorpio reversed, Saggy upright, with issues at work or school or wherever you co-create, coming out about the Six of Cups upright, sweet innocent children or soul ties, and the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is upright. He's the man, right? He's the emperor without being the emperor, right? He doesn't need to be the emperor. The King of Pentacles is happy with perhaps their twin's passionate offer, as the Page of Pentacles reversed is in need of help, or needing an opportunity, or perhaps expecting an opportunity. That can also be right, needing help to start something new, or perhaps feeling uninvited, in need of help with savings, or feeling like a failure, or just doing something under the radar, holding on to the King of Wands reversed, or as the King of Wands reversed. Maybe maybe he's tight with his money and tired of being fair, or giving all of his truth and balance and alignment to the Six of Cups, children or pets or the innocent ones, and again depleting their own energy without giving back to themselves. Perhaps after a sudden event or constant drama, or the King of Wands reversed received a passionate new offer or path from the King of Swords, Libra, or judge, or sibling love, or finally retiring and giving up the act with the Empress reversed, or breaking patterns of lack of abundance, or in a losing battle with abundance, which can just be energy, right? Lack, or making everyone but themselves happy. And the ones they're making happy are still not ever happy. As the Page of Cups upright is well with family love, challenged by surgery or pain and bliss, and a growth spurt perhaps, the inner war of pain or needles or infection, and just negative thought processes, and done growing for now, right? That growth spurt, done with that. The Ten of Cups is upright, to be up before dawn, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, awakened with the Six of Cups and King of Pentacles, which could be a father and two kids, or a soulmate who's shown up. The seventh stands up to the sixth, or with a dysfunctional family, or their spending will be the death of him, and then having to go to court with or for the children or pets after they've been the one working their butt off to make things easier for everyone else. Perhaps the King of Pentacles parents have now both passed, or they're both unhappy or going through physical difficulties or issues, as elderly parents may. The King of Pentacles may be retiring from the Ten of Pentacles reversed, a very heavy responsibility to send a loving message to the Ten of Cups family, or like leaving the Montagues for the Capulets. Perhaps drama queen fell from grace, and or dark knight pushed too hard and now not letting anyone get in their way. The innocent freed and blissful, back with loving family, awake with the Six of Cups and the King of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, perhaps a choice of path or twin flame, perhaps below deck after Tower event. As three kings and the Emperor are all reversed, only the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles are upright, but only the King of Swords is ending the war, out of prison or released to the streets of cold. The Page of Cups challenged by releasing the pain or enjoying the bliss of the emotional fulfillment in the new moon waxing, having awakened early or up all night, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, needing to ground with justice at her side, needing to grow and stretch and wake up and come out. Perhaps somebody is 8 months old now. But there's also this energy of April to August, this time period, maybe fluffy. And now also this energy of something that's 8 months old. And then another question came up, but we'll get into that for another time. But I think that's enough for now. We are at 223. It was just, I think it was 06 when it came in, 223.06. So let's pull a card from I do want to pull one from Journey of Love. It's been a real go-to a lot lately. Journey of Love to close things up. I'm getting close-up shop. Someone's laying down all their responsibilities. I don't know if they've gone silent or they're pissed off. Or just in a negative place. They don't want to share themselves while they're, kind of going through this. All right, where's our last message for the best and highest good of all those concerned? Let it all out. Let it all out. I was just getting let it be also. We have dream a little with the 51. There's the King of Swords again. Dream a little. See, the King of Swords needs to have fun. He's been too serious. And then here we have the 54 of the Page of Swords and the Earth Angel, right, who's pulling up the blanket to cover them. There's a message here, right, from the feminine energy here to the King of Swords, from the Earth Angel. And what did I just say came up? Let it be, Mother Mary, right? Is that what I said? Drop into your heart. There's the 68 of that Page of Pentacles again, too. And 68 came up a couple times. Drop into your heart. So it's a message from the feminine reminding the masculine to drop into their heart. We have the Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. And the mastering of one's thoughts. And the bottom of the deck is the 63 of the light field, right? This is the most traumatic of the cards because it's the 9 of Swords. You haven't gotten to the 10 yet. So there's no way out or in. Even if you go back to the 8, you're still imprisoned. If you go to the 10, the pain's going to be the worst, but then it will end. So here we have being fully exposed on the bridge to this being slammed by light. And the 9 of Swords, right? That nightmare after beauty rest. Right, it's like a mother with the kids. You know, you get your rest, but then as soon as you get your rest, you're awakened in the morning again. The 4 of Swords. You get your beauty rest, and then you're wakened up and you're slammed again, over and over again. So after this kind of energy, for God knows how long, it's the 9 of Swords, right? Could be 9 years. Done torturing yourself, whether it's having kids, like Mama she's had at least 4 litters, I think. And she's just a tiny little cat. I think she's done. And so it could be someone done their job, done their marriage, done their career, done something that's just they can't do anymore. Or maybe want to do what they're really aligned with for once in their life. Or just focus on themselves. Maybe just enjoying their life. Okay? This is the message coming in. And this is the Page of Swords right there next to the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles could be the King of Swords, right? And again, moving personality. Going from one to the other, but they're both upright. The King of Wands and the King of Cups were the ones that were reversed. So, right, the passionate, emotional part isn't doing so good right now. But the thoughts are good, and the manifestation and security is good right now. I don't know about the Queens, right? Because the Empress was reversed, and she was reversed in the underlying energy in this deck too. So that mother energy, if there is grandparents involved, or you're the grandparents involved, or there's 2 power people involved, both in this read, the Emperor and the Empress are both reversed. But in the more recent message I pulled for you earlier, the Emperor's upright there, but now the King of Swords and Queen of Swords are reversed. And they were both upright here. All right, so what made the Emperor go upright and the King and Queen of Swords go reversed? So whatever that applies to in your life, that's what it relates to. But the Empress is still reversed. The Queen of Wands is reversed. The Queen of Pentacles is reversed. Queen of Swords was upright here, but is now reversed. And then, where's the Queen of Cups? She's upright. She's the only one upright, Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is good, and the King of Pentacles is good. Where are all the pages? Page of Pentacles was reversed over here, and it's next to the masculine's heart. So he may be in need of help. He's only got 4 pentacles there. So that doesn't mean he doesn't have anything, right? Because he could just be kind of tight with his money and not want to spend or not show what he has. But it also could be keeping his cards close to his chest or not having little to spend, needing to save, still having kids to pay for, or other responsibilities like houses and cars and things like that. But a Page of Pentacles could be the Divine Masculine or a child who's still in need of help or opportunity or an invite right before coming out. But the Page of Swords over here is upright. I don't think they were out here. Yeah, we didn't have those pages. This was more about the adults in the read I pulled for you guys. Although there was the Knight of Cups upright in the beginning there with the sun and the positive child energies. But the King of Swords may have fallen short there with the Hermit. Because the Hermit's reversed here with Virgo or Gemini energy here. And it's next to, in these cards, it's between the Sun and the Knight of Wands, which is Leo and Sag. So whoever this Hermit reversed is, this could be a parent who's not doing well. It could be a crazy, doctor or professional. It could be someone who's over isolating, or someone who's losing their mind, someone with Alzheimer's. But they're between the Sun and the Knight of Wands reversed, right? Somebody falling short in effort, or the Hermit is that Knight of Wands falling short in effort and being fully exposed by love in a loving way. But there's also kids there involved with the Sun. And it could be someone home taking care of both their kids and an elderly person who's having trouble, right? Or just a lack of confidence, a lack of tools. Maybe someone lost all their tools in a divorce, and now they don't have anything they need to do certain things. These could be emotional tools that they don't have, that they need. And is having to do with the worst over and bliss. And justice is upright here. Somebody's grounding and integrating their awakening, or perhaps a surprise, and needing to come out and find their tools or their confidence, their ability to manifest again, now that the worst is over, or that the bliss is now setting in. Perhaps you're feeling some bliss from your twin. That could be as well. The King of Swords and the Page. I do want to read the first card out, which is the 51. Oh, let's see what that says. King of Swords, 51 is dream a little. It's a short one. The divine wants to bless you with inspiration, just as a lover would come to the door of the beloved with a spontaneous gift of flowers. So dream a little. Let your imagination wander and wander. What if? What else could be, breaking down the rigid walls of expectation? Just because something has been does not indicate that it must continue in the same way. So dream a little and receive your spiritual gift. This oracle brings you guidance. Your spiritual gift of inspiration is on its way, or has just recently been received. It isn't flights of fancy, it's a gift from the divine. Receive it and believe in new possibilities. From unexpected meetings, we talked and shared our lifetime, a gentle, peaceful, quiet time reflected in our smile. We winged our way to distant places and walked along remembered faces of lives we knew we lived some time before. And like a bud about to flower, having reached its appointed hour, we watch ourselves begin to open in the warm touch of spring. How appropriate. So it's time to dream a little dream of you. So there could be a surprise coming in. Allow your thoughts to wander in your dreams. And that's a really beautiful last message to wrap it up. Okay, guys, tell me what you think. If anything resonates, if there's any synchronicities that have come up with all that information, please comment below. And I will see you guys next time. Remember to get plenty of rest, as much as you can. Drink your water, your clean water. Get your feet outside in the grass. And make sure to have some fun, or smiles at least, a little laugh every day. Rise and be loved, guys. I'll see you soon.